morning, everybody. It's your girl, BeeSparrow, BTTR, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio. How y'all doing on this Thursday, February 3rd? I am doing great. Thankful that the Most High saw fit to touch my bed and say, get up, daughter. Got work to do. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this article that I came across while roaming these internet streets. But before I do that, let me get my disclaimer up in here, y'all. I'll be right back. BuzzTweet Radio does not own copyright for this copyrighted material, but under Section 107 United States Copyright Law, as noted by the United States Copyright Office, Copyright Act 1976, this video and the music it contains is for entertainment purposes only.
You're listening to BuzzTweet Radio.
Well, all right. I got this article that I wanted to talk about because this is something that I have been talking about, and it has something to do with the educational system, right? So a Texas parent demanded that a Michelle Obama biography be pulled from schools because they said it would make white girls feel ashamed. So a Texas parent called for a book about Michelle Obama to be pulled from the schools. The parent said it unfairly depicted Trump as a bully and would make white girls feel ashamed. Some conservatives say books depicting race, sexuality, and gender should be kept out of schools. A parent in Texas called for a children's biography about former First Lady Michelle Obama to be pulled from school libraries because they viewed it as unfair to former President Donald Kingpin Trump. The Katy, Texas parent took issue with a book titled Michelle Obama, Political Icon by Heather E. Swartz, said it unfairly depicted Trump as a bully, according to NBC News. And by the way, I am reading this on yahoo.com. So this is according to NBC News, which published a list of books that parents in Texas have asked schools to remove. The request came as books depicting race, sexuality, and gender have faced heightened scrutiny from conservatives in the U.S., with many demanding certain titles be pulled from school libraries. The parent in Katy, who was not named, said the book about Obama gave the impression that if you sound like a white girl, you should be ashamed of yourself. Lord have mercy. In a statement to Insider, Swartz said she was shocked that someone wanted to ban her book because it is a nonfiction book that doesn't strike me as at all controversial. Maria Corrales, a spokesperson for the Katy Independent School District, said that the district reviewed the book after the complaint and determined it will not be removed. Any book that is challenged is reviewed by the district, even if only one parent submits a complaint. We could have gotten hundreds of requests and it would have gone through the same process, she added. In December, the district began pulling books from the shelves after parents complained about their vulgarity. The Board of Trustees and I stand by this policy and firmly believe that there is no place for books that contain pervasively vulgar content in Katy ISD libraries, Superintendent Ken Gregorski said at the time. It is our expectation that books within our collections are age appropriate for the students and families we serve, he said. Similar efforts have gained traction from state legislators and other community leaders in the U.S. Last year, a state legislator in Oklahoma proposed a bill that would have prohibited books in school libraries that depicted sexual activity or included discussions around sexuality and gender identity. In October, a Wyoming prosecutor declined a request to prosecute library employees in one conservative town for stocking several books about sex education and others with LGBT themes. As an author, a reader, and a parent, I'm against book banning on principle, Schwartz, the author of the Obama biography, said. There couldn't be a safer way for kids to learn about difficult topics, gain new perspectives, and explore the world and their place in it than by reading words on a page. In the meantime, some schools ban books about black life, and black kids are reading it anyway. Okay, so Christina and Renee Ellis, students at Central York High School, a predominantly white school in Pennsylvania, helped reverse a book ban targeting the work of black authors. For about a month, the sisters and several of their classmates in the Panther Anti-Racist Union, a student-led racial and social justice advocacy group, protested the challenge after an all-white schoolboy banned diverse educational materials, including a book about Rosa Parks, Hidden Figures, a story about black female mathematicians, and the documentary I Am Not Your Negro about the author and cultural critic James Baldwin. Oh, wow. Dozens of students, parents, and educators held briefly colored signs with slogans like BLM and education is not indoctrination outside the school. Edha Gupta, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, but that's what it looked like to me. Edha Gupta, okay? One of the organizers who wrote letters to the editor of the city's newspaper while others read excerpts of the banned books on Instagram, Renee said the protests were an important step in holding the district accountable for focusing on inclusive environment for students of color, for black people, for black students. Y'all know I hate that term, people of color. I hate it. I mean, when something specifically pertains to black people, do not include other people of color. Just say black people. Because all people of color were not enslaved, and all people of color were not shipped to the four corners of the earth via slave ship. Okay? Okay. Glad I could clear that up. So continuing with this article, it says, we didn't want history to repeat itself, withholding history, hiding the experiences of black people in this country, Renee said. We also wanted to make sure that the younger kids underneath got a full education, especially with the murder of George Floyd and the murder of Breonna Taylor, black people, and so many other social justice issues in America. I will not be saying people of color when the subject pertains to black people. No, not me. No, not B. Christina said it's crucial for young black students to see themselves in books. If a little girl or black girl goes into her school library and can't find a single book that represents her, and people are telling her that she doesn't really matter, she will treat herself as such. She will act like she doesn't matter, and that's how a cycle continues, Christina adds. The Ellis sisters are two examples of young people who are fighting back after a conservative wave of activism led to books being banned in schools and libraries. Even though some parents claim that their children would be uncomfortable reading literature about race and LGBTQ issues, students initiate fewer than 1% of book challenges in the U.S., while parents and patrons account for more than half, according to the American Library Association, honey. That is a book monitoring group. In addition, the bans aren't keeping students away from diverse literature. There's nothing more attractive to a kid than a forbidden book, author Mickey Kendall said. I'm watching kids respond by saying, well, I read the book to see what they were so upset about. Jaden Johnson, a 7th grader at Meridian World School in Round Rock, Texas, said his school library temporarily had a session of banned books, which became extremely popular among students. There was a bunch of kids crowded trying to check out all the books because they wanted to read them before they went away, says Jayden, who is 12. He is one of 2 black middle school students who started the Round Rock Black Student Book Club, a virtual student-led community group in which students of color... Okay, I'll let it slide this time, because they all can read our books. All the students of color can read our books. Lord have mercy. Can read books about their characters that represent them. Jayden said he hopes black kids can have access to a diverse range of stories, not just one focused on pain and suffering. So I'm going to leave this article right there. It goes on, but we get the point. Because I did a video a few months ago I did a TikTok duo where this teacher was in the classroom screaming and yelling and doing all this crazy shit, acting crazy in the classroom. And I talked about the white students that abused a black doll baby by putting a rope around her neck. They stepped on the doll baby. They closed her in the car roof. Hung her from a tree and all that kind of stuff, and named the doll Shaniqua. All this stuff is going on in school, yet you don't want to teach any black history. You don't want the world to know about your treatment of Hebrew in this country. And when I say Hebrew, I'm talking about black people who was dispersed to the 4 corners of the earth on slave ship. That's the true Hebrew. That's the real Hebrew. The sons and daughters of the diaspora. The Jewish diaspora, that's us. That's Hebrew. You cannot convince me. No one can convince me that European descent was enslaved by the Egyptians in biblical times. I refuse to believe that. They were all Hebrew. They were all dark-skinned people. They tried to white us out. And if you ask me, they really doing a pretty good job of it because you don't know who you are, black people. Listen, it's your girl, BeeSparrow. BuzzzTweet Talk Radio. Like, comment, and subscribe. Not only to my YouTube channel, but to my Spreaker podcast, which is where I'm broadcasting live from. BuzzzTweet Talk Radio, BeeSparrow. Like, comment, and subscribe there too. Okay? Holla at your girl.